Okay, in this second part of using the app, we'll take a look at using it to do annuity problems. And remember that annuity problems means that we have a series of payments that we're making or receiving that we call rents. Okay, so here's an example here. What is the future value of $5,000 deposits made at each of the next 5 years, earning interest of 12%. So again, for our timeline, we want either future value or present value, but not both for an annuity. And we have our rents, our I and our N. So our rents are $5,000, our N is 5 years, our I is 12%. And what we want in this situation is we want to know what the future value is. So there's our timeline. Now we're going to use the app. Okay, so we have 5,000 are our payments. That's what we're using in place of rents. They're calling them payments. Okay, and 12% and 5 years. Compounding was annually, and what we want is the future value, so we press that button. Then we get 31,764. Again, you ignore the negative sign. 31,764. And we see here that that is what we calculated using the table. In our next example, we have Gomez will deposit $30,000 in a 12% fund at the end of each year for 8 years. Okay, and again, they want to know what is the future value. Okay, so we have our payments, our $30,000, that's our rents, okay, and that was 12% and 8 years. We want to know the future value, that's $368,991. And that's what we got when we calculated it out using the tables. So those were two problems when we wanted the future value, okay? Now let's take a look at a couple of problems when we want the present value of an annuity. So here is where Jamie Ewan wins $2 million in the state lottery. She'll be paid $100,000 at the end of each year for the next 20 years. How much has she actually won? So she's getting $100,000 a year for 20 years. We take 100,000 times 20, that's 2 million. But is that really worth 2 million today? No. Okay? And so how much is it is the present value today of that 100,000 that she's going to get for 20 years? And the interest rate is 8%. Okay, so our rents are 100,000, okay, and the interest rate was 8%. The periods were 20 years. It's compounded annually. How much is, take away this future value, we want to know how much is the present value. Okay, 981, 815. And that's what we got when we calculated it out using the tables. So once again, remember if you were putting in something, let's say I had the present value, and I wanted to know how much was the payment. So 981, 815, okay? If I put that in under present value with the 8% and the 20 years annually compounded, then I could hit the rents and it would come out 100,000. But if I forget my negative sign, I might have problems, or it'll come out as a negative 100,000. Okay? Especially when you are looking for the rate or the number of periods, you got to make sure that something has the negative sign on it for it to work correctly.